Hello to all my viewers. Today, we will be looking at a supernatural horror film titled Pinocchio's Revenge. There will be spoilers, so watch out and take care. As we begin, our first scene opens on a rainy night in Florida, 5 years ago. A sinister-looking man, named Vincent, seems to be digging a hole in order to bury something. We cut to a rookie highway patrolman who is patrolling the same area when he nearly runs into a car that is parked on the side of the road. He gets out to investigate the vehicle when he notices some clothing in the backseat that is covered in blood. Rookie knows the situation is sus, so he heads into the forest to get more information. We cut back to Vincent and we see why he is out there digging. He has a young boy who appears to already be dead. As he is finishing up the burial, Rookie walks up behind him with the toolie ready to go. Rookie seems shaken in the presence of Vincent, but he is ultimately able to secure the arrest. 12 secure the crime scene and the chief commends Rookie on a job well done, but they become confused about what they are dealing with when one of the bodies they dig up isn't a body at all. It appears to be a wooden doll. Our next scene takes us to the present day. Vincent's attorney, named Jennifer, is arguing to try and get a stay of execution for him, but no one seems to agree with her. We cut to a little later that night, and while Jennifer is at home going over crime scene photos, her daughter, named Zoe, frightens her from behind while she asks about the gruesome photos. Jennifer gets Zoe back into her bed and Zoe tells her about her nightmare. She says that she dreamed about her father and his new girlfriend being dead, and Jennifer tries to comfort her by asking if she wants to call her father. Zoe says no, because she is obviously dealing with her father's betrayal of leaving their family to try and start a new one. The next day, Jennifer arrives to work to find the familiar wooden doll sitting in her office. Her boss walks in to tell her that the doll was included with the extra evidence that was dropped off. He tells her not to get her hopes up about getting a stay of execution for Vincent. We cut to Zoe's school, where her teacher is reading the class's story. She asks a student, Beth, a question about the story, but Beth wasn't listening. When the teacher asks Zoe the same question, she answers correctly and then makes a joke at Beth's expense. Females start beefing with other females straight out the womb. At the penitentiary, Jennifer is talking with Vincent about trying to get his execution commuted to a life sentence. Vincent asks her why she is even trying to help him. He says that, since he killed his son, his life has no meaning, so he is ready to die. He slams his hand against the glass because jump scares still worked back in 1996. Jennifer asks him why he buried the doll with his son, and he tells her the doll's name is Pinocchio. He says that he made Pinocchio for his son, and it was his best friend. Before he hangs up the call, Vincent tells her to just let him die. Jennifer pleads with him, asking him if he knows who really killed all those kids, and Vincent snaps as the guards begin subduing him. He continues to shout, "Let me die," as they haul him back to his cell. Back at Zoe's school, the bell rings, and Zoe stands by the door handing out invitations to her upcoming party. She refuses to give Beth an invite, so Beth snatches them from her, saying, "Thanks, Zoe Blowy." Zoe chases after her, demanding she give them back. Beth throws the invitations to the ground, and Zoe's face displays the universal look for, "Ah hell no," as she pushes Beth to the ground. She channels Mike Tyson and goes straight for that ear, but Beth is always with her homies, so they pull her off. They call Zoe crazy as they leave her to pick up her invitations. Later that night, Jennifer is on the phone getting an earful about the fight Zoe had that day. Zoe tells her that Beth started it, but her mother scolds her for acting out. Just then, Zoe's father calls, but Zoe refuses to talk to him, and Jennifer is forced to tell her that she is grounded. Zoe storms off to her room as Jennifer talks to their nanny, named Sophia, about Zoe's upcoming birthday. Sophia goes to Zoe's room and tries to comfort her, while Zoe vents to her about things never going her way. In the next scene, we are in the courtroom, where the judge is denying Jennifer's motion to commute Vincent's execution. Defeated, Jennifer is hounded by the media as she tries to exit the courthouse. We then cut to Vincent, on the dead man's walk to the electric chair. Jennifer is in the viewing room watching as they secure Vincent into the electric chair and get him ready to ride the lightning. Sparks shoot from the chair as they turn it on, and Vincent's body strains as the electricity courses through his body. Just like that, Vincent is dead, and Jennifer seems upset that she couldn't help him. Jennifer seeks some solace as she sits quietly in a church pew. She begins speaking with the priest about the problems in her life and about the issues that Zoe is having as well. Back in her office, Jennifer speaks with her boss about her doubts of Vincent being guilty of killing his own son. Jennifer states that she believes Vincent knew who the real killer was, but her boss tries to comfort her by letting her know that she did everything that she could and that she shouldn't continue beating herself up about it. We get the classic split diopter shot of Pinocchio creepily staring at Jennifer as she finishes up talking to her boss. "What's up with your ears, young blood?" When Jennifer is on the way home, she reaches behind the seat for her phone, and Pinocchio is close by. Although we don't see it, Pinocchio seems to bite at Jennifer's finger as she grabs the phone. She calls Sophia to check on Zoe and finds out she's still been acting like a little shit. Sophia tells Jennifer that the toy shop called and said that Zoe's birthday gift is delayed, so they will not have it in time. Jennifer sighs and says she will just have to pick something else up for her when she stops to get the cake, and then the two hang up. After picking everything up for Zoe's birthday party, Jennifer arrives home, and those are really nice cabinets. Jennifer is anxious about getting everything ready for the party, so her boyfriend, David, tells her to relax a bit while he finishes setting everything else up. When Jennifer finishes changing, she comes out to all the kids shouting like little demons as they have fun with the party favors. Zoe happily runs over to her mother and tells her she loves the gift she got for her. As Zoe runs back to play, Jennifer is shocked and confused to see Zoe hug Pinocchio, while David tells her it's a great gift. She stares at Pinocchio as he seemingly stares right back at her. Creepy. We see the rest of the birthday party through the eyes of Pinocchio. He stares at Zoe with what feels like envy for all the praises and attention she is getting. After the party, Jennifer and David are trying to play a hormone game while they rest on the couch. Suddenly, we see Pinocchio peering at them from around the corner. We are in the doll's POV as he creeps closer to the couple, and he pops up in front of them, giving them a bit of a scare. They begin laughing as they see that it is just Zoe trying to scare them with the creepy little doll. For some reason, David proceeds to tell Zoe a darker side of the classic Pinocchio story. He finishes the story off with payback as he jump scares Zoe. They laugh as David chases Zoe back to her room. As Jennifer is tucking Zoe in, she tells her not to get too attached to Pinocchio, since he is just visiting until her real gift arrives. They say goodnight, and then Jennifer comes back to David to finish the hormone game that they started. Weirdly, Jennifer keeps her daughter up with her screams of pleasure while playing the game, so Zoe talks to Pinocchio, wishing he were a real boy so that she wouldn't be all alone. The director didn't care about spacing out the nudity in this movie, so we immediately cut to Sophia in the shower the next morning. She fit. As she is getting out of the shower, she notices Pinocchio sitting on the bed watching her as she dries off. She walks over to grab the doll when Zoe grabs her hand and asks, "What are you doing with my Pinocchio?" Sophia is put off by the aggression from Zoe while she storms off with the doll. In the next scene, Zoe is talking to her therapist about how David hurt Pinocchio's feelings. When the therapist asks her if she likes David, she says that she does, but she explains that she just doesn't want David to take her mom away from her because then she will be all alone. Later that evening, Jennifer arrives home and talks with Zoe about being in Jennifer's room that morning. She tells her mother that Pinocchio was curious about women's bodies after they both heard the hormone game between David and Jennifer last night. Jennifer apologizes and shows Zoe her actual birthday gift, and Zoe is having none of it. Jennifer tells Zoe that she said not to get attached to the creepy doll as she has to take it back to her office, but Zoe lashes out, saying that everyone leaves her. The next day, Sophia drives Zoe to school. When Sophia arrives back home, Jennifer asks her where Pinocchio is, and she tells her that Zoe took him to school with her. Jennifer scoffs, but then notices the leg of Zoe's birthday doll sticking out from under the bed. When she pulls it out from beneath the bed, we can see that the doll has been heavily mutilated. We cut back to the school ground, where Beth's henchmen have taken Pinocchio from Zoe. They throw Pinocchio over the playground fence, and then tease Zoe about having the doll. As Zoe goes to retrieve Pinocchio, we can see the doll is holding a metal raking tool. It appears as if Pinocchio is ready to clap back on his ops. Beth begins riding her bicycle away from the school when suddenly, the rake is thrusted into the bicycle's tires, flipping Beth from it and into the path of a moving bus. The driver slams his brakes on as he rolls over Beth. Luckily for her, she seems okay physically, but the incident definitely seems to be messing with her mental. Zoe seems unsure about what just went down, so she runs from the scene with Pinocchio in hand. Jennifer is at work when she receives a call from Zoe's therapist. He tells her that Zoe had just shown up at his office and told him about Pinocchio launching Beth in front of a school bus. Jennifer heads to the therapist's office, where he tells her that Zoe has formed an attachment to Pinocchio, and taking him away from her now may be too traumatic for the child. On the way home, Jennifer questions Zoe about the situation and Zoe keeps stating that Pinocchio did it, even though he didn't mean for Beth to get hurt. Later that night, Jennifer and David are getting into bed and they discuss all of the issues that Zoe has been having. He reassures her that he will always be there for them, and I gotta say, I'd be saying the same thing if I got to sleep with those big, comfy pillows every night. We cut to the next night, and since Sophia had to go check in at the immigration office, David is left to watch Zoe until Jennifer gets home from work. It is here that we actually hear Pinocchio talking to Zoe. He tells Zoe that she never has to worry about him leaving her, but he can't say the same about her mother, at least, not as long as David is around. Pinocchio says, "I can make David go away." Zoe tells him that he will never become a real boy if he keeps doing bad things. Pinocchio states, "But making David go away would be a good thing. Just like punishing the bitch at school was a good thing." Savage. In the next scene, Zoe is suddenly awakened by the sound of footsteps pattering around the house. She calls out for Pinocchio and then sees his little shadow beneath her door as he runs around. Zoe leaves her room to look for him, but David calls out to her asking why she is up. She tells him she is trying to find Pinocchio, but he tells her that he will go get the doll and that she needs to get back in bed. He heads down into the basement to look for the doll when suddenly, the lights are turned off. He laughs sarcastically, telling Zoe to stop playing and get back to bed. As he is walking back up the stairs, the door quickly slams into his face and he takes a real bad fall down the stairs. This knocks David unconscious and we see a pool of blood forming around his head. As he lay on the basement floor, we see the light from upstairs slowly fading away as the basement door closes gently. Jennifer rushes into the emergency room and embraces Zoe, who is crying. She is informed of what happened to David, and they tell her that he very nearly died from the incident. We then cut to Zoe in her room, where she is yelling at Pinocchio, asking him if he made David fall down the stairs. Pinocchio denies it, but Zoe sees his nose grow from his shadow on the wall. "You're lying, aren't you?" she shouts. Pinocchio replies by saying that Mom would have a lot more time for them if Sophia wasn't around. This shocks Zoe and we can see that she has begun to fear the doll. The next morning, Zoe is in the garden catching a cricket to be a conscience for Pinocchio to stop him from doing bad things. They arrive at the therapist's office and Zoe is silent as the therapist asks her about David's accident. When the therapist leaves the room, Zoe gets into a heated argument with Pinocchio. The doll manipulates Zoe, so much that even Zoe herself is beginning to believe that she's responsible for David's accident. The therapist comes back into the room as Zoe is shouting for the doll to shut up, and it is clear to him that Zoe's mental is worse than he thought. At night, Zoe overhears her mother on the phone with the hospital, and she plans to visit David soon. Zoe talks with Pinocchio stating that once her mother talks to David, he will tell her that Zoe is responsible for his accident. Pinocchio tells her that he could talk things over with David to keep her out of trouble, and all she has to do is set him free by cutting his strings. As she cuts his strings, he hops up from the ground, happy that he is finally free. "Let's go see David," he says, and quickly exits the house, disappearing down the street. Zoe tries to keep up with him, but that little bastard is just too quick. In Pinocchio's point of view, we enter the hospital. He makes his way down the halls as he looks for David's room. How do these people not see a whole wooden doll just running about? Pinocchio creeps into David's room while he is resting. The doll then pulls the plug on David's respirator, sending his vitals into a downward spiral. David struggles for a moment, but ultimately dies from a lack of oxygen. A sleeping Jennifer is awakened with a phone call, and she is told about David's death. She bursts into tears, not being able to believe all of the horrible things that are happening to her family. In another abrupt scene change, the therapist is showing Jennifer the video of Zoe arguing with Pinocchio from their last visit. In the video, we only hear Zoe speaking during the argument she had with the doll. Makes you wonder, is the doll actually talking to Zoe, or is it just all in her head? The therapist asks for Jennifer's permission to have Zoe committed, but she is very much against this. She states that she sees evil all the time in her line of work and that she doesn't see evil in her daughter's eyes. The therapist says that, if she won't give him permission, he will have to go to the authorities, but Jennifer flexes her legal muscles telling him not to break Zoe's doctor-patient confidentiality or she will sue him into oblivion. Later that evening, Jennifer notices mud on Zoe's slippers while Sophia is cleaning, so she wakes Zoe up, asking her if she was outside last night. Zoe breaks down telling her mother that she was outside trying to find the hospital. Shocked, Jennifer asks if she found the hospital, but Zoe denies it, stating that she got lost and wandered back home. "I think Pinocchio found it though," cries Zoe. Fed up with the bullshit, Jennifer snatches the doll from Zoe's bed, telling her that Pinocchio has to leave. "I hate you. I hate you," Zoe screams as her mother takes the doll outside, tossing it into the trunk of her car. We are once again treated to a point-of-view shot of what we can only assume to be Pinocchio. He opens a drawer in the kitchen to retrieve a big knife and then creeps into Jennifer's room while she sleeps. Jennifer wakes up, calling out, "Zoe." For a split second, she sees what appears to be Pinocchio standing over her in the dark, but when she turns on the light, she finds Zoe standing there, holding the knife. She asks her what she is doing, and Zoe tells her that she just wants to protect her from Pinocchio. Jennifer reassures her daughter that the doll can't hurt them and rocks her back to sleep. If I had a child that did this, well, let's just say I wouldn't have a child anymore after that. Also, what are your thoughts on this transition? The director was really wilding out on this film. The next morning, Jennifer heads back to the church to talk to the priest again. She is conflicted on her daughter's situation, wondering if Pinocchio is actually talking to her or if it is just her mental playing tricks on her. She questions the priest on evil, wondering if it's actually possible for it to somehow physically manifest into reality to cause havoc. It seems Jennifer is now wondering if the doll is actually the one behind all the horrible things happening to her. The priest just listens to her, all while looking at her like she's the craziest person he's ever met. Back at their house, Sophia is cleaning when Zoe expresses her concerns about Pinocchio hurting the family. Sophia tries to ease her mind, telling her that, since she got a cricket to be Pinocchio's conscience, she doesn't have to worry about him doing bad things anymore. Zoe loses her shit when she gets back to her room to check on the cricket, only to see that it has been smashed into a smelly-looking mush. R.I.P. As Sophia runs to check on Zoe, she begins getting bludgeoned with a fire poker by an off-camera subject. She is beaten with the fire poker until she is dead. For some reason, Zoe just spends the entire day in the house with Sophia's dead body, because we then cut to later that night when Jennifer is arriving home. She enters the house as a thunderstorm begins booming outside, when suddenly, the lights go out. Frightened, she goes into the kitchen to retrieve a knife, but decides against it as she questions herself as to what she is doing. She roams around the dark home until she suddenly happens upon Sophia's dead body lying in the hallway. Shocked by this, she quickly turns around when she hears a sound behind her, and she sees that it is Zoe. She asks Zoe what she has done, but Zoe breaks away from her, running down the hallway. Jennifer enters the living room, and when she goes to check under the couch, she is struck in the head with the fire poker. She falls to the ground in a daze and sees Zoe standing over her with a fire poker. She tells her to stop, but Zoe tells her that she took the poker from Pinocchio and that they have to leave before he comes back. Zoe just disappears again as Jennifer calls out for her. It is here that Jennifer finally witnesses Pinocchio moving by himself. He turns towards her, and we can see that he is holding a knife. He screams at her as he raises the knife and then begins chasing her through the house with it. Jennifer struggles with the doll from room to room as he continues trying to end her life, until finally, Jennifer is able to dispatch him by throwing him through the glass coffee table. Jennifer slowly walks closer to make sure the doll has finally been killed, but she can't believe her eyes as she sees it is actually Zoe's body that is lying under the broken coffee table. Her mind cannot process this, and she falls to the floor when she passes out from the ordeal. We transition to the last scene of the film where we can see that Zoe has been committed. Jennifer asks the therapist how long she will be like this, but he cannot give her a definite answer. The doctor asks Jennifer if it was before or after she was hit in the head that she saw the doll moving by itself. "I know what I saw," she exclaims. Jennifer pledges to do everything she can to get her daughter out of the mental house, and we get one more close-up shot of Pinocchio's eyes as the film ends. This has been 7cc Movie. Big thanks to all of our viewers. We have more videos coming very soon, so if you vibe, please subscribe. That was weird. 7cc Movie, signing out.